And the bad news is Tierney and the Viking of Smethwick, Danny G. Tierney, BKFC UK welterweight champion, potential world title challenger. Just off the back of a great win against Danny Christie. Before that, a great win against Johnny Graham. And the list goes on. Danny G, the Smethwick Viking warrior from Valhalla, the mead drinking cannibal berserker, whatever he calls himself. He's actually a 45-year-old potential wizard, but definitely a stoner who just sits around doing fuck all day, filming himself, live streaming every minute of his life. I didn't make many Danny G videos for a long time because I felt like he was getting targeted, and I felt like it was becoming a bit like bullying because he was getting really sad and people were calling him a bacon when he obviously wasn't that, and it was all like this big narrative was made against him, and I just sort of thought, I'm going to take my foot off his neck because I don't really agree with it. But this that I've seen is just what he said today or yesterday. I think it might have been so narcissistic, so self-important. So it's just like, mate, what am I hearing here? What am I listening to? What am I seeing? He thinks that he is bigger and a bigger character and than Tierney. It's just fucking madness. Now, he has got a big online presence, Danny G. He really, really has. And he has done since KSI a long time ago, shared the video of him raging on Xbox, screaming at kids. But he's got an online presence for being an absolute laughing stock. But that is simply that. He's got he gets terrorised off every clip channel, every comedy channel. Anyone who makes reaction videos are laughing at him. And he doesn't get any views himself. No one's watching him, or very few people are watching him for him. I don't even think his account's monetized. And his TikTok's pretty dead in comparison to other people's as well. And you've got Tierney, who more or less sold out the NEC Arena. It used to be the NEC Arena. I can't even remember what it's called now. What was the NEC Arena in Birmingham? 11,000 people for the BKFC. And Danny G, who can't even get enough views to get an account monetized. Now, he did have an account a while ago with a lot of subscribers, but this was after the KSI called out, and the videos, they do poorly, very, very poorly. Like, you're talking like 1,000 views, like it's 500 views. His lives, he'll have 40, 50 people in them, and they're all there to laugh at him. So he's not got this big online presence for him. He's got stuff that's gone viral on TikTok, on Facebook, on YouTube. He doesn't upload the things that are going viral. People upload them laughing at him. So back and forth has happened. What at the original beginning of the story is Tierney called out Danny G to fight on the BKFC and put his money where his mouth is, because he always goes on about how hard he is, how many people he's beaten up, when in reality, no evidence of him doing any of it ever. He can't box because we've seen videos of him shadow boxing. He really, he's not got the worst technique in the world, I will say. He has not got the worst technique in the world. For someone who has got no training at all, he looks pretty athletic when he throws punches, but it's not good. It's not what he says anyway. It's nowhere near what he says. He just looks like someone who's totally untrained, who sort of knows the basics on how to throw a punch, has watched a YouTube video on the basics of how to throw a punch. You know what I mean? So he's very, very completely unskilled. And he always just goes on about how many people he's beat up and how hard he is. And no one's ever seen any evidence of him doing such things. Tierney offered him to fight on the undercard for BKFC Birmingham in the sellout event. Tierney was headlining, not to fight him, to fight someone else on the undercard. And G turned around and said, I'm too old, I'm 45, I just play golf. It's not for me. And it could have been left at that, and everyone would have gone, fair play, Danny, reasonable response. Whatever. And this is when he was in the real phase of Danny G, the new me, being the Zen. I don't want to fight anyone. I'm just chilled out. I'm changed. I'm the new me. He's slowly going back to the old him, where he's very angry and very triggered. But nothing ever happens because he threatened to doorstep Hedgehog Man and threatened to do X, Y, and Z in the meantime. But him and Tierney had then gone back and forth. I think Tierney released I haven't really watched much of all this. I just saw the one today and thought, wow, Danny G, what the fuck am I watching? Going back and forth, I think Tierney come out publicly and said that Danny G didn't want to fight. He's been offered to and he didn't want to fight. And there's been a couple of comments exchanged on the live streams of Danny G, and Tierney's brought the odd video out just laughing at him and taking the mickey out of him. And the more recent ones, Danny G, what are you thinking? The most recent one, what is going on in your head? He's pretending to masturbate in the video, going, Conor Tierney, all you ever think about is me. All you men ever think about is me. And then he's just, but it's just fucking, who do you think you are? He's going, Conor Tierney's a baby to me. Because Tierney said, I've asked people in Smethwick who I know, and none of them know you. He goes, you're about 25. You're a baby to me. Basically like little bro in him, like you're nothing to me. Tierney is, although he's the welterweight champion, which is one of the smaller weight classes you'd say, because it's below middleweight. He's a big bloke. He's 6 foot plus, and he cuts drastically to get down to welterweight. When him and Danny Christie squared off in the ring, he was the bigger man by quite some margin. And Danny Christie's fought a light heavyweight. Danny G is not a massive, big bloke. Danny G is about 5'9", and he says he goes on about his physical presence and how strong and how hard he is and that, but he's not. He's just a 45-year-old man who sits around smoking weed all day, potentially as a wizard. But that's what he looks like. Does a few press-ups. Tierney is an elite-level athlete who's trained to fight. Even if Tierney was 25, which he's not, he's 30. Even if he was 25, it would take less than 5 seconds for Tierney to dismantle Danny G. For Danny G to even speak to him in this anyway. And he goes on to go, all Conor Tierney's doing is clout chasing off my name. What name? Danny G, you are known as being an absolute laughingstock full of the internet. Tierney is known, probably, I would say more well known than Danny G, really, in the grand scheme of things. Danny G couldn't sell out a fucking 11,000 person, 10,000 person stadium, could he? Conor Tierney can. If you ask more people in Birmingham who's Conor Tierney and who's Danny G, I reckon more people would probably know Conor Tierney personally. I don't know, I might be wrong. But that might be a bad example because Danny G's got so many people laughing at him. But when the day comes when Conor Tierney sadly passes away and Danny G, even though I'm taking the piss out of him, sadly passes away, who's going to be remembered for their achievements and who's going to be forgotten about? Who's going to go down in the history books for potentially being an English world champion and a UK welterweight champion who's fought in New York and fought in Ireland and headlined their own show in Birmingham twice because they've got another one arranged and done all these amazing things. Beat Danny Christie, beat Johnny Graham, fought Rico Franco, you know. The list goes on and on and on. And then there's Danny G, who sat around smoking weed all day, doing nothing. And just the audacity of him to... It could have just been left. It should have just been left. He really and truly, Conor Tierney should be able to say whatever he wants about Danny G. And Danny G should really just shut up and just take it. Like, Danny G tries a normal hard man act and wide-eyed, staring into his phone. Yeah, come to me. Like he did when Urban Doc fucking pretended to steal his pillow. He talked about fighting him in the front garden. But this is not going to work with Conor Tierney, Danny G. It's just not. And I find it fucking insulting that we've got to listen to this bloke who has got such a big head and such a main character syndrome, is so narcissistic that he believes that his word, his stature is higher than someone on the elite level of fighting. And Conor Tierney is unbelievable. And it's as simple as that. So you're talking about bare knuckle fighters. Conor Tierney's one of the hardest men in the UK. Simple fact. Like, it's there in black and white. He's got the fucking big gold belt. And Danny G is an absolute loser. An absolute loser. Oh, yeah, this really, really ticked me off, this one. He's saying just all them guys ever do is just suck me off, basically. They're sucking the life out of me, sucking the clout out of me. I'm all they ever think about. It's just like, made you really think that Conor Tierney wakes up thinking about Danny G, the Smethwick fucking loser? the absolute wally of Smethwick. Of course he doesn't. He just goes on his phone, sees a video of you pop up talking shit about him, and then comes back laughing at you, because that's what he's doing. He's laughing at you. He's laughing at Danny G. I'm talking to the phone like it's actually Danny G. It's really stressing me out. Anyways, boys, just a quick rant about that, because that really, really fucking got on my tits watching that. If you go and watch that Danny G video, it is honestly, it's annoying. It's so annoying. I'm going to do my BKFC predictions tomorrow. It's my birthday today, so I just haven't had much time. Been doing family stuff and all that. But thanks for watching. If you got this far, subscribe. Adios, la bosh.